Let's get straight to the point. Number 8, the Goldfish Memory Protocol. Ever walked into a room with a grand purpose, only to cross the threshold and immediately forget why you exist? Congratulations, your brain just factory reset itself. It's not early onset dementia, it's a psychological glitch called the doorway effect. Your brain, in all its infinite, outdated wisdom, compartmentalizes memories based on physical locations. Psychologists at the University of Notre Dame confirmed that passing through doorways serves as an event boundary, flushing out short-term working memory to prepare for new, potentially saber-toothed tiger-filled environments. You aren't stupid, your brain is just hyper-efficient at dumping its cache. The trick is to weaponize this incompetence. When you're stuck in a negative thought loop, furiously doom-scrolling, or just having a mental meltdown, physically get up and walk through a doorway. Change your environment to force a hard reboot of your working memory. Conversely, if you actually need to get something done, do not move. Stay in your task zone. If you leave your desk to get coffee while holding a complex thought, that thought will die in the hallway. Guard your geographical context like your fragile ego depends on it.
Number 7. The Imposter Syndrome Judo. Let's talk about that voice in your head that insists you're a fraud. You know the one. It whispers that your boss only hired you because they were distracted by a fly, or that your friends only like you because they haven't seen your browser history. Most people try to argue with this voice. Bad move. Instead, use the Dunning-Kruger effect as your secret weapon. This psychological phenomenon explains that incompetent people are often overly confident, while the truly skilled suffer from constant self-doubt because they are smart enough to realize exactly how much they don't know. If you feel like an absolute fraud, it's actually the most scientific proof you have that you are likely at the top of your game. Only a genius is smart enough to be worried about being an idiot. When that wave of "I don't belong here" hits, perform a mental judo flip. Tell yourself, yes, the mark of excellence. Sarcastic? Maybe. True? Absolutely. By accepting the feeling as a byproduct of high intelligence rather than a warning sign of failure, you neutralize the cortisol spike that usually paralyzes you. Stop trying to feel like a pro and start realizing that even the experts are just sophisticated toddlers who learned how to Google things faster.
Number 6. The Graceful Disaster Method. Stop trying to be perfect. You're scaring the neighbors and making everyone feel like an unwashed swamp creature. If you think being a flawless robot makes you alpha, you've never met a human. Enter the Pratfall Effect. This psychological gem, studied by Elliot Aronson, proves that competent people become significantly more likable when they make a small mistake, like spilling coffee or tripping over air. Perfection is intimidating and suspicious. We don't trust people who don't have crumbs on their shirts. We assume they're hiding a body in the basement. This gap between your expert status and your human clumsiness creates a magnetic sense of authenticity. By revealing a minor flaw, you humanize yourself. This builds instant rapport because it signals you aren't a threat. But there's a catch. This only works if you're actually good at your job. If you're already a walking disaster, spilling soup just confirms you're a liability. If you're a high achiever, that tiny crack in your armor is the secret sauce for social dominance. Next time you fumble your words, don't turn red, just lean into it. Sarcasm is your shield, clumsiness is the ultimate social lubricant. Stop being a statue and start being a person. Let your inner klutz work for you. It's time to be better.
Number 5. The Tactical Silence Power Play. Have you ever met someone who treats a momentary silence like a personal insult that must be punched in the face with a wall of meaningless words? We've been conditioned to think that silence is awkward. But in reality, it's a high-voltage power tool for social dominance. Smart people don't talk to fill the void. They use the void to let others hang themselves with their own sentences. This is essentially a psychological vacuum. When you stop talking, the other person's brain enters a state of mild panic known as intolerance of uncertainty. To stop the discomfort, they'll start rambling, often revealing secrets, lowering their price in a negotiation, or admitting they actually have no idea what they're talking about, just to get you to say something. It's science, really. Silence forces the other person to process their own thoughts, and most people find that experience absolutely terrifying. By weaponizing a 3-second pause after someone finishes speaking, you instantly shift the status dynamic. You appear thoughtful, stoic, and slightly intimidating, even if you're actually just trying to remember if you fed your cat. Sarcasm is great, but a well-timed blank stare is a superpower. If you want to look like the smartest person in the room, stop trying to prove it with your vocal cords. Close your mouth, raise an eyebrow, and let their own social anxiety do the heavy lifting for you. It's the ultimate way to win an argument without even participating in it.
Number 4. The Pavlovian productivity anchor. Most people treat motivation like a magical fairy that visits whenever it feels like it. Spoiler alert, the fairy isn't coming, and you're still sitting in your underwear watching cat videos. Instead of waiting for inspiration, you need to treat yourself like a high-performance lab rat using stimulus control. Your brain is a master of association. It thinks your bed is for sleeping, and your desk is for, well, mostly procrastination. By creating a hyper-specific sensory anchor, like a certain scent, a specific lo-fi playlist, or even a particular desk lamp, you can hack your neural pathways to enter deep work mode on command. This isn't just vibes, it's basic behavioral conditioning. When you consistently pair a unique stimulus with intense focus, your brain starts to trigger that focus the moment it senses the cue. It's like a light switch for your prefrontal cortex. If you only listen to a specific focus album while working, eventually the first 3 notes of track 1 will force your brain to stop wondering if penguins have knees and start actually doing your taxes. Stop relying on willpower. Willpower is for people who haven't figured out how to bribe their own subconscious yet. Pick a trigger, use it exclusively for work, and watch your brain fall into line like the obedient biological machine it is.
Number 3. The Ben Franklin friendship hack. If you want someone to like you, don't do them a favor. Make them do one for you. Sounds backward? That's because your brain is a master of gaslighting itself. This is the Ben Franklin effect, a psychological quirk where our subconscious tries to resolve cognitive dissonance. If you ask a hater for a small favor, like borrowing a pen, their brain enters a state of panic. It thinks, wait, why am I helping this guy? I'm supposed to hate him. To fix this internal glitch, the brain rewrites the script. I must be helping them because I actually think they're okay. It's a genius-level social engineering trick that turns rivals into allies. Leon Festinger proved humans would rather change their entire belief system than feel mentally inconsistent. Instead of buying affection with gifts, which makes you look like a desperate creep, just ask for a tiny favor. You aren't being a burden, you're giving their ego an excuse to like you. Use this wisely and stop being so nice. Being nice is for people who haven't read the manual on how humans actually work. Now go and start inconveniencing people for your own benefit. It's science, after all.
Number 2. The Protege Effect Rehearsal. Ever wonder why elite engineers keep a rubber duck on their desk? No, they haven't snapped. They're using the Protege Effect. Science shows that when you prepare to teach a concept, your brain shifts from passive sponge to active architect. You aren't just absorbing data, you're forced to organize it. This exposes the knowledge illusion, the realization that your understanding is as shallow as a kiddie pool. To master a subject, stop rereading notes like a monk praying for a miracle. Find a victim, a roommate, a cat, or a houseplant. If no one will listen, use rubber ducking. By articulating logic out loud, you bypass the mental blinking, where your brain skips the hard parts. You'll look like a lunatic talking to fruit, but you'll be a lunatic who understands physics. Stop hoarding info and start performing it. True genius isn't about what's in your head, it's about how well you can trick a toy into understanding it. Your brain thrives on being the expert, even if the audience is inanimate. Explaining requires higher neural processing than recognition. Stop being a student and start being a loud, very sarcastic teacher. Number 1. The 10-10-10 perspective zoom. We've all been there. You send a risky text, spot a typo, and start planning your life as a hermit. Your amygdala is screaming predator when you just forgot a comma. To fix your broken instincts, use the 10-10-10 rule.
This is temporal distancing, a trick that forces your brain to shift from the panicked now to the indifferent future. Ask, will this matter in 10 minutes, 10 months, or 10 years? Most catastrophes won't survive the 10-month mark. This zoom out disengages the emotional hijack of your limbic system and hands the wheel back to your prefrontal cortex, the part that does math, not social panic. Research from the University of Michigan suggests looking at problems from a future vantage point reduces cortisol. You aren't ignoring the issue, you're admitting your brain is an evolutionary drama queen that overreacts to glitches. In 10 years, you'll worry about back pain, not that awkward thing you said today. Stop letting your lizard brain run the show. Use time travel to see that almost nothing you care about now matters. Stay detached and let your future self handle the dread. Your ego is a liar. Ignore it and get to work. Your stress is just a noisy ghost with no teeth. Let the science handle your nerves. If your neural pathways actually enjoyed this dopamine hit, perform the primitive social ritual of hitting the like button and sharing this with someone who's still stuck in a normal mindset. Go ahead and subscribe to Coolest Dude Explains, because we drop these mental upgrades every single day. If you don't, your brain might revert to its factory settings, and we both know you can't afford that. Now go use these tricks before your goldfish memory kicks in and you forget everything we just talked about. See you tomorrow for another dose of reality bending.